Welcome to I'm Busy on Purpose, the podcast for small business owners who are over the hustle, the overwhelm, and that constant pressure to always be doing more. If your business feels like it's running you instead of the other way around, consider this your wake-up call. Here, we're going to slow it down, cut through the chaos, and actually take back control. I'm your host, Lucy Carter, and I'll be sharing real stories to help you feel less alone and practical tips that won't scramble your brain even more than it already is. Every week, I'll be here to remind you that by reconnecting with yourself, focusing on what really matters, and taking aligned action, you can have a business that fuels your life instead of draining it. No fluff, no guilt, just straight up guidance to help you feel confident, in control, and actually enjoy the ride of small business ownership. So go grab your coffee or your wine, there's no judgment here. Take a deep breath and finally give yourself permission to do business your way. Welcome back, everyone, to Unbusy on Purpose. This is episode 2. I got some really lovely feedback from my last one. If you haven't listened to that, go back, listen, and then listen to this one. But yeah, it was so nice. People were saying that it really resonated. And also there was people that weren't small business owners that also mentioned that they found it really helpful. So that is exactly where I wanted this podcast to go. It was, although it is centered around small business ownership and dealing with the life of that, alongside personal life, I do want this to help everyone because we're all human at the end of the day, whether you're a small business owner or not. So this week I want to touch on being busy. That's the concept around being busy and feeling like if we're constantly on the go and constantly doing stuff, then it's working. Whatever we're doing is working, and that's not necessarily, and most of the time it's not, like what happens. So, for example, like my partner will come home from work and I'll be like, "How was your day?" And he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I was really busy." And it is just such a normal part of our flow of conversation. Like everyone does it. Like, tell me you don't. But I'm really conscious around this word busy now. And it's like, are you busy or have you had a really productive day? And he'll go, "Oh yeah, I was productive." I'm like, "Okay, so you weren't busy, you were productive. You got a lot of shit done." That's great. Being busy is actually not like a positive thing, in my opinion. Being busy would mean that you're being stretched. Being busy means that you haven't had a moment to yourself. Being busy means that you haven't even had time to take lunch. Like, that's not good. That is not good. So if being busy and constantly doing stuff meant that all this action, this constant action meant that things worked and it would make things work, then we'd all be fucking thriving and we'd all be feeling very well rested. And we're not. The majority of us and many business owners, we are doing everything, but we are getting nowhere fast. And that's how it feels. We feel overstimulated. We feel overwhelmed. We feel exhausted, and by the end of the day we're just like, oh my god, another thing or another client to reply back to. Like, that is just us constantly on the go, and you feel like you can't stop as a business owner majority of the time, because it feels like if I don't reply back to this client, for example, then I'm not gonna get that job, or I'm not gonna make that money. And it all just kind of snowballs into this negative experience. So today, I really want to focus on what is going on with my camera? I'm not even moving. What the hell? Dad, are you here? So, oh my God, don't even. That's so strange. You were here, you saw it first. So today I want to talk about why constant action is simply just not the answer. It's just not. So I want to just dive in to where this belief comes from. Where does this belief that doing more, being busy, and just never stopping, where is that coming from? How have we all got to this point where we think it's a good thing and it's like it's just what we do? Because it's not what we do. Um, well, I believe it's because over time we have been taught that if it's not working, if something isn't working for you, or if something hasn't happened yet. So let me give you an example. When you're working on your business and you've got all these ideas, right? All these ideas are coming into your head and you're like, yeah, I really want to do that. And you go in to like do something and you're like, right, I'm going to create the social media post around it, or I'm going to build the website or whatever. And you do it and you do the thing and you've just worked your little ass off, but then nothing really happens, right? Because these things take time, but in our heads, we're expecting this instantaneous result. So because we feel this lack of having this instantaneous result from whatever project you're doing, or maybe it's a monetary income that's not come in yet, whatever that is, like we feel that if we just maybe hop on to the next project, that's going to make us feel more productive instead of actually just sticking to that one thing and really kind of honing that in and working on it. And I have done it. I'm not sitting here preaching to the choir because I have been that person. And this new me has really come to understand that by actually slowing down and focusing on one or two things is fine. And I'm not going to lose everything, or I'm not going to be a failure because I'm not working on all this other stuff that I've had all these ideas around. And because this one thing that I've done, for example, this podcast, I could be, I've had maybe very minimal views, but I've just started it. Like, I can't expect a ridiculous outcome at this point in time. This is exponential growth. So I have to have patience and faith in myself and in what I am creating, that eventually this will come to fruition. But if I simply sat here and was like, oh, I didn't get many views, or I only got a couple of comments or whatever, or no one watched it at all, like I'd give up and I wouldn't be doing this podcast. I wouldn't be doing the next episode. So we have to yes, you do have to keep on going and pursuing what it is you want, but it doesn't mean I have to start like doing it 24/7 or jumping onto the next thing to make myself feel like I'm being productive because this one thing isn't working. I hope that makes sense, because I feel like that is a lot of the time what people do, especially small business owners, because we do have all these ideas, and because we are the one working all the cogs most of the time, we don't have help or staff, or we can't, if you're starting up your business, you can't afford an assistant or whatever, or a VA. So it is hard, and you do have all these ideas and you're thinking, well, if this thing isn't working, then maybe I should jump onto this thing. And that's just not the answer. If you know that this thing, what you're doing, for example, this podcast, I know that this is something that I really, really want to put my efforts into, because I know eventually my biggest reward from this will be that it has reached lots of people. I have helped lots of people. I don't get paid to do this podcast, right? At the end of the day, I don't. It's my time I'm using to create it. And from that, I hope to help others. And it is purely a passion project. And if eventually I start making an income from my podcast, then that is a Brucey bonus. But for now, I just have to focus on creating the thing that lights me up, and I'm not stressing over it. I'm doing the work, but I'm not burning myself out by doing it. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I was so busy today, I created my podcast. I created my podcast today. Things might go wrong. It's technology, but I'm gonna try and reframe that whole I'm busy. And I am really, really trying hard to not get distracted because this is a new thing and it's not quite where I need it to be yet or want it to be yet, and be distracted to be like, okay, well, maybe I'll hop on to the next project, the next idea. Because I've got lots of ideas and they will come, but I need to focus on this first. And then that also helps us concentrate and focus, and we're not going to feel so overloaded because we're like, okay, I've just got my podcast to think about. And then I've got my makeup business. So my makeup business, I want to run that. But then this is my little project that I'm doing on the side. And that's fine. That's my capacity. If I started doing other shit, I would burn out. So it's like, pick your poison, right? So I would also want to talk about where this comes from. It stems from like a sense of fear, and it also stems from not having clarity around what it is you want to do. So doing more and trying to fill your time with shit means that you don't necessarily have clarity in what it is you're doing. So if you have started your business and you are literally feel like you're at your laptop 24/7, you're trying to create content, you're doing this, and it's like, by the end of the day, your brain is frazzled and you got off your laptop at like 11 p.m. I'm telling you now, that's not you being productive. That's you feeling lost because you're trying to fill your time with shit that isn't necessary. None of us should be working till fucking 11 p.m. Like, sorry, we should not. We cannot be productive if we are exhausted. I might put that as a quote. We cannot be productive if we are exhausted. So how does anyone, whether you are a small business owner, how do you expect yourself to show up in your business the next day with all guns firing and being productive and, doing your best work? Like, if I literally was doing emails and content till like 11, 12 p.m., my brain takes a good hour to switch off. So I wouldn't be going to sleep till like 1. Then and then going to sleep. And then if I had a makeup job the next day, I'd be like literally like running on like 4 hours sleep. So how is that me showing up to work and being like my best self? I'm not going to create my best work. I'm going to feel like shit. My personality is going to be very bland because I'm exhausted and I've got maybe 3 words to say to someone. Like, it's not good business practice. So we don't need to do more to get more. Right. That is just, it's a blanket rule for me. I'm like, we do not need to be doing more to get more or to get the outcome that we want. But yeah, it's definitely stems from this fear of falling behind, this fear of being forgotten, losing momentum. Like, it does all stem from those kind of feelings within us. So I get why it happens, and I get why maybe if you're sitting here going, oh my God, that's me. I get why you're doing that to yourself. But this is your reminder to just focus on what matters. Focus on the thing that you are really, really passionate about. Focus on the things that are going to get the needle moving in your business, and all the other bits and pieces will come. But if you haven't listened to my first podcast, then please do, because you can't get to this point without doing what I've spoken about in my last podcast, which is connecting back to yourself and slowing the fuck down. So do that first, and then you'll be able to go, right, I've got more clarity around what it is I need and want, and what my purpose is here, and what it is I want to do with my business or my life. And therefore, that fear will drop. That fear will drop because you're like, I actually know what I'm here to do. I know that I want this thing, and I know what I'm here to create. And right now I've got this in the pipeline, but these 2 things are what I'm going to focus on right now. And then the rest will come. Doesn't mean you have to throw everything else out the window and it's never going to happen. It will. But you've just got to work on those couple of things first and slow everything down, and everything else will come. Coming from that place of fear, and this might be how you're feeling right now, because I know this is how I felt. coming from that place of fear-driven action just makes you feel so drained. It looks productive, but it makes you feel so drained, and it's like you just want to throw in the towel. And that's not how you should be feeling about your business. You created this thing. So, what does busy action compared to aligned action look like? Um, you might be wondering. So busy action, in my opinion, it's reactive. It's you just like jumping on everything and trying to do everything, and it's very rushed and reactive, and it feels very urgent, and like I can't stop this because I've got to do this, or I've got to go here and haven't got time for this because I've got to finish this. Like that's what it feels like, and it's this constant feeling of anxiety of always just rushing, and it's trend chasing. Like you're constantly jumping on the trends, and a reel goes viral and you're like, oh, I need to be doing that. And then then that leads into, oh, I should be doing this instead of this, and you doubt yourself, and it is just a recipe for a downhill spiral to literally mindfuckery and burnout. So aligned action alongside that, if you are doing things from a place of alignment and not fear, then it feels more intentional. So everything that you're doing is purposeful, and you know why you're doing it, but you also know what you're doing it for. And that just feels really grounded. It feels like you've got clarity. You feel really clear about what it is you're doing. Your brain fog isn't there anymore. And you do, like, even if something is stretching you a bit, you still feel calm. So this is like me for the podcast. There is things that stretch me, like literally recording this halfway through it just cut out on me, like, and I've had to like press record again. Luckily it saved everything, but like, there's certain things that stretches you and it takes time. And, like when I do the editing of this, it takes time and it does stretch me a little bit. And I'm like, oof. But because I have peace and clarity and intention around what it is I'm doing, I'm not feeling so like overworked by it. I'm just like, oh, it's just like, it's fine. It's just like, it is what it is. I'm still feeling very calm, even though sometimes these things can, be a bit of work. And and this is what I mean, like anything to do with like being unbusy is not about being lazy. It's not about just, oh God, can't be bothered, can't be asked. It is about doing things with intention instead of just doing things because, right? Um, and aligned action is doing things at the right time, doing the right things at the right time with the right energy. Because when those three things are in place, when you have aligned energy with the aligned thing, with aligned timing, then that's where it feels so magical and feels so good. And like I said, don't get me wrong, there's going to be things where things test you. But at the end of the day, if you are like, well, I know what I'm here to show up for. I just need to figure this thing out and then I'll be fine. You don't have the confusion in your head of like, what the fuck am I doing? Because I actually don't even know what I want to talk about today, or I don't know what I need to post about, or I don't know what I need to be replying to. Like, it's like that feels heavy, that feels messy and chaotic in our own brain. So aligned action, when you know what it is you're doing and know what it is you're here for and what your purpose is, then everything just feels a little bit smoother, actually a lot smoother, a lot calmer, and a lot more controlled. You just feel less chaotic in your brain. And don't get me wrong, I have a lot of tabs open a lot of the time, but those tabs are intentional tabs, right? Don't look at my computer. My computer has a shit ton of tabs open, but like my brain tabs they're intentional. I'm like, right, I know I've got to get this done. I know I need to do that. And then I've got all the personal shit that goes along with it, right? So if you are creating more work for yourself in your business and you've already got all this shit happening in your personal life that you need to be thinking about, those two collide and oh my God, Welcome burnout. Welcome exhaustion. So eliminate the things that are causing that stress in your business so you can have that balance, right? And the same goes for your personal, because at the end of the day, your business doesn't have business problems, it's personal problems that flow into your business. Yeah. That's usually how that coincides. So figure out what's going on here, eliminate some stuff here, eliminate some stuff here, like, and balance it out. And you might need help doing that, because sometimes when you're in it, you're like, I don't know, like, I just feel like I have to do all this stuff and I can't let go of this job, or I can't change this appointment time for my child, because that's just how it, like, we get so stuck in this, like, oh, no, I have to do it. This reactive, urgent phase that we get in, this fear-based kind of situation. Like, we feel like we feel like we are frozen in that decision, in that situation where we're not. There is options. There's flexibility. And if you can't be flexible in one thing, try and be flexible in another. Like, make it work for you, not against you. So I have noticed since slowing down, I have had the space to think more clearly. I've stopped operating from survival mode. I'm not coming from this place of just like, oh, I've got to get this done because, and that heavy feeling. Um, I'm making better decisions because of it, you know? Um, I'm making much more aligned, better decisions. And those decisions have a lot more clarity within them. And I think a lot of us think slowing down is like quitting or failing or not going to help you move the needle forward. But I'm telling you now that constantly being busy doing shit that is not serving you or is causing you to feel overwhelmed, overstimulated, exhausted isn't going to get you very far. However, when we slow down, like I said, we make better decisions. We have more space in our brains. We have more clarity around what it is we want to do. We aren't sitting in that survival mode, fight or flight response. And yeah, everything flows a lot nicer. And you will find that even though in that slowing down, you feel like, oh my God, like I might, like maybe this thing isn't going to work because I'm taking this time to just kind of be with myself and figure out some stuff and journal or whatever it is you want to do. Um, like, but that is part of that exponential growth. Putting that work in to figure all that stuff out instead of just adding more fuel to the fire, is actually going to help you really kind of push yourself into the direction that you want to go. So you do not need more action. You need more discernment. You need to be more aware of what it is you're trying to achieve and have alignment with that. So I want to invite you to have a little bit of a reflection, and I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. You can either write them down. Actually, I urge you to maybe just go pause this for a sec, go grab a pen and paper and write these questions down, and it might help you to kind of realize where things are feeling a little bit busy for you. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. So what am I doing out of pressure? What are you doing at the moment in your life that is purely because you're feeling pressured to do it? That could be, doesn't have to be a work thing. I just want you to start being a bit more self-aware around what these things are in your life and where you're showing up doing this stuff. And then the next question, what feels heavy or forced for you right now? What is it in your life, in your work, in your business? What is feeling heavy or forced right now for you? What is it that is you're sitting there going, I fucking really don't want to do this, but I have to fucking do it. Maybe it's taking your kids to football, or something, and you're like, I fucking hate taking my kids to football. I hate sitting at sports. I know it sounds really mean, but I do. I hate sitting at sports things for kids. Like, it's just boring. So if that's something that you're not really wanting to do anymore, maybe find another thing where you can go and be connected with your child, but maybe their dad or an auntie or somebody else who enjoys that stuff takes them instead. Um, that's just an example. Okay. So what is it in your life where you're feeling that's feeling heavy or forced right now? Next question. What would happen if I did one thing well instead of 10 things half-assed? That's a good one because I have done multiple things half-assed and wonder why I'm getting nowhere fast. So I hope those questions kind of spark something in you to kind of go to some self-awareness. I really hope they spark some self-awareness around your productivity and trying to be overly busy and adding too many things to your already filled cup. So when we are in alignment, alignment will always feel like a relief. No matter what you're doing, it just feels peaceful, it feels serene, it feels calm, it feels right. Like, it just feels right. When you know you're there, and you'll know you're there because you'll feel this. Um, because when you are working on something and then all it's doing is fucking creating adrenaline and anxiety, that's not alignment. Alignment shouldn't feel rushed and chaotic and busy. Alignment should feel peaceful and calm and like a sense of relief. Like, finally, I've arrived. And that's what it should feel like. And it's great. It's a great feeling to have within your business and just within your life in general. So I am going to leave it there, I think, for today, guys. So, I've left you with those questions, and I would really, really, if you feel comfortable enough, I'd really love to see what came back or come up for you after writing the answers to those questions down, whether it's giving you some clarity on like the reasons why you may be feeling a little bit like rushed and chaotic and burnt out. And yeah, I'd really love to hear those answers. And if I can help in any way, then any questions, put them in the comments as well. Um, and share this with any business owners, small business owners that you feel would benefit from listening to this. But like I said at the beginning, like, this can be for anyone. We're all human. So if you just feel like somebody needs to hear this today, then please share it with them too. All your support means the world, and liking and following this podcast really helps me as well to put more reach out there. Because that is the end goal for me. All right, guys, I will see you in the next episode, and have a wonderful, beautiful day. Mwah. Bye.